Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Joe Palmer begins now.
Good evening, everyone. A search is underway on the Tasman Peninsula tonight as crews try to track down a 44-year-old Victorian man who strayed into bushland and became lost. Police say the man may be injured, with authorities losing contact with him a few hours after he called for help. Our reporter Ruby Kamain is on the peninsula tonight and joins us now live. Ruby, good evening. What's happening there right now?
Joe, crews are continuing their search efforts here tonight after a big day of scouring the area. This man is still missing in the surrounding bushland here. In the early hours of this morning, he wandered off from a property here at Roaring Beach, just near Newbina. Today, the rescue helicopter, police and volunteers have been involved in this rescue operation. Let's see how today unfolded. A team of rescuers take off up into the Tasman Peninsula sky and scour the dense bushland to keep a hovering eye for a Victorian man lost in the wilderness.
We received a phone call in the early hours of this morning, about 1:30 a.m, from a 44-year-old male who became lost in the Roaring Beach area in the bushland.
The Westpac rescue helicopter dispatched at around 5 a.m, with intense searches in the air and on foot, ramped up throughout the day to try and locate the 44-year-old man.
We believe he may have sustained a minor injury, but nothing of grave concern.
And assisted by locals like his friend's neighbour.
I've been with the little boy, searching, and the dog, everything where we suspected he could, end up if he slides down some steep bits and crosses a road, but we couldn't find anything.
Authorities say they stayed in contact with him until his phone cut off at around 4 a.m.
Ambulance Tasmania were in contact with him and he seemed to be in good spirits.
Police say the Victorian man lives locally in the area and that he was spending time with his friends before wandering from a residence in this bushland area here at Roaring Beach.
We would recommend against leaving in the middle of the night, particularly setting out when you don't know the area.
Ruby, if I could ask you, just what type of conditions will the man be facing tonight?
Joe, it's already cooling off quite a bit here tonight after a pretty mild day. The temperatures could drop to the single digits in the coming hours. Winds aren't too bad at the moment, but this is quite an exposed area. We're not expecting much or any rain really, but some falls are predicted tomorrow. Joe, either way, it's sure to be a long night here on the Tasman Peninsula for the searchers and the man they're looking for.
Yes, it certainly will be. Thank you very much for that report, Ruby Kamain, joining us there. Blustery winds have forced the grounding of firefighting aircraft working to contain a large bushfire near Myena in the Central Highlands. Communities had been warned to prepare, with unpredictable weather conditions hampering firefighting efforts and further fuelling the blaze.
This blackened bushland, some of the inaccessible terrain crews are dealing with as they work to contain a fire ripping through Tasmania's Central Highlands.
Land's so hostile, in fact, that we can't actually get ground crews in there, so we can't get boots on the ground, which has been a major challenge for us so far.
Slight rain today helped, but won't make a major difference to the blaze, spanning more than 150 hectares. Heavy machinery is being used, but hampering efforts are northwesterly winds reaching up to 70 kilometres per hour.
It's all just, minute by minute almost.
Aircraft meant to drop water bombs and map its size grounded throughout the day. The wind was posing a threat to nearby communities, pushing the fire towards properties and crucial energy infrastructure.
It's certainly at the forefront of our mind to keep that asset safe, and that's what we're really working hard to protect.
A watch and act level since downgraded, but triggering memories of summer bushfires.
You can't always sort of predict. You think, oh, well, I'll go home. Do I unpack the car or do I leave the car packed?
Thankfully, for the community still recovering, mild weather is forecast over the next few days.
Hopefully we might be able to consolidate our lines around that fire and any others that may pop up.
We've got every confidence in their ability to to handle the situation.
Authorities will also continue to manage a large bushfire burning in forestry land at Notley Hills near Lagana. That fire creating smoke which blanketed Launceston. Authorities are using this early start to the bushfire season as a warning to all Tasmanians to ensure that their bushfire survival plan is up to date, properties are prepared and burn-offs are adequately controlled.
People need to make sure if they are going to conduct their own burns that they have the proper resources and they put the fires out before they leave them.
Louise Hedger, 7 Tasmania News.
More than 100 people are expected to attend an anti-vaccination film screening in Launceston tonight. Australia's peak medical body says it's alarmed at the event, which is being held at a secret location. The screening has coincided with the state government's announcement to bolster its own vaccination efforts.
Taking a dose of their own medicine. Pharmacists are the latest weapon in the war on whooping cough.
What we are doing is rolling out to pharmacies across Tasmania the ability for them to be able to immunise Tasmanians for whooping cough, tetanus and diphtheria.
The announcement has coincided with another event in Launceston. Around 120 people are tonight expected to attend a screening of a movie against a cervical cancer vaccine.
I'm worried, we stand on the cusp of eradicating a disease and then we're getting a message in the opposite direction. It makes no sense.
Organisers are defending their right to free speech.
Vaccination is supposed to be a science, and science is always open to question. I have a long history of scientific study, and nothing in science is absolute.
She says fear of reprisals meant the location was kept secret until right before the screening. The group describes itself as pro-choice and not anti-vax.
I think it's completely irresponsible for anybody to be pushing an anti-vax message. The evidence is clear. Vaccinations work.
There's been no suggestion of banning the film. The government says Tasmania still has high rates of vaccination.
I don't want fear to be spread within a community. If anyone has concerns, speak to a professional, your GP or your pharmacist, get the facts.
Sean McComish, 7 Tasmania News.
Labor is calling on the state government to release its shortlist of sites for a proposed northern prison. Around 50 people backed the opposition leader in Westbury today ahead of a protest tomorrow. Rebecca White is accusing the government of failing to consult residents.
If they are convinced that Westbury is the right location for a prison, they need to come to this community, talk to the people who live here and give those explanations and prove it to them.
The government says it's working with the community and has dismissed the comments as a scare campaign. The coroner has found 2 drivers involved in a fatal crash were at fault. 49-year-old Murray Sulman was killed in the 2017 collision at Mornington. He turned across oncoming lanes into the path of a speeding ute. The coroner says the driver of the ute was going 92 kilometres per hour in a 60 zone and because of this couldn't take evasive action. Crash investigators say if the ute was going the speed limit, the crash would have been avoided, but only by a fraction of a second. The coroner found Mr Sulman shouldn't have crossed and the driver of the ute, Murray Broughton, was travelling at an excessive speed. Broughton previously pleaded guilty to causing death by negligent driving and received a 10-month suspended sentence and was disqualified from driving for 2 years. Potentially dangerous windy conditions forced the closure of the Royal Hobart Show today in the interests of safety. The showgrounds have reopened tonight, but the much anticipated fireworks program won't go ahead.
Disappointed patrons leaving the showgrounds ahead of schedule. Rides closed and jumping castles deflated due to safety concerns. Damaging winds closing the Royal Hobart Show around midday.
Things started flying around. We'd tied stuff down, we'd taken contingencies. I had a couple of cars get damaged and we just said that's it. People are at risk, so we're shutting the site.
Keen showgoers were disappointed by the decision.
The wind was so windy and the dusty dirt just got in our eyes and stuff, so we had to leave. It's pretty sad.
I mean, it's just kind of ridiculous because at the end of the day, they don't have anything set up to plan for this, and we didn't even get a show back yet.
I wanted to go on some other rides, but unfortunately, since it's been it's like shutting down. I haven't been able to do that. It's kind of disappointing, but it's okay.
Stall holders were also upset about the closure, saying that while public safety was of the utmost importance, it would have a strong effect on their small businesses.
We're not going to make any sales, so it does have an effect on our business.
That's quite disappointing. I mean, it's detrimental really to businesses.
Visitors said it's left them with a bitter taste in their mouths, but those who left were offered a free pass to return.
We've been here barely an hour and it's, just ruins our plans a bit. We're not coming back.
Are you going to come back?
No, I don't reckon, no.
At this stage, tonight's fireworks won't go ahead due to the conditions. Other events on the program continue tonight and tomorrow. Ebony Ablett, 7 Tasmanian News.
Prisoners across the state have been given a unique opportunity to express themselves through art. More than 100 pieces are on display as part of the Artists with Conviction exhibition.
It's a powerful, thought-provoking and passionate display from the state's prisoners.
It's a really good way, a creative way that they can actually use their time whilst inside to express themselves.
132 pieces are on show at the Moona Arts Centre as part of the Artists with Conviction exhibition.
So painting, drawing, sculpture, applied arts.
The exhibition has been running for 9 years. This year's theme is Crossroads.
A great example of where they are, and they're currently at a crossroad. Quite a lot of them have used this as just a really great way to get out their art, and that it's sort of a process, sometimes a healing process for them, sometimes it's just a little bit of fun.
A handful of prison service staff also contributed to the display.
Such a diversity of work to look at. There's so much to see, and it's a really great opportunity to connect with the experiences and the stories of people who are living in prison, which is not something we get to do on a daily basis.
A special touch too with some of the inmates' children helping out with the artworks. The exhibition is open until November 16. Letitia Wallace, 7 Tasmanian News.
Hundreds of people will descend on the Northern Midlands this weekend for the 3rd Tasmanian Chamber Music Festival. Australian soprano Greta Bradman will feature at the event, which brings world-class musicians to the state.
I really enjoy when the voice is just another instrument in the group, and there's a real sense of collaboration, and it's just you and the music. There's something really honest and beautiful about good chamber music.
Organisers say many visitors are travelling from interstate for the 3-day event.
Often festivals are just in one venue, but this takes people all over the place, from Brickenden to here to Longford to Cromie Vineyard.
The festival kicks off tonight and finishes on Sunday.
And North West Coast 8-ball ace Wayne Stubbs has added another accolade to his incredible list of career achievements, with the Tasmanian taking out the Masters final at the AEBF Nationals in New South Wales. Stubbs led Victoria's Steve Gray all match before recording a cruisy 8-4 win. While fellow North West Coast Qs Alex Pace was unable to make it a Tasmanian double, going down 10-5 to Victoria's Ben Nunnan in the Open Men's Final. Tasmanian horse trainer Adam Trinder is preparing for the biggest race of his career, with Mystic Journey being touted by some as the horse to beat in tomorrow's Cox Plate. And with $3 million up for grabs, Trinder is hoping his mare can produce the ride of a lifetime. Confidence is as high as it's ever been in the Mystic Journey camp.
Travelled over really well. She settled in well, weight's perfect for tomorrow. Lovely and bright about herself, as you've seen here this morning, so really happy with the way everything's transpired.
With thunderstorms and heavy rain predicted for Caulfield, tomorrow's coveted Cox Plate is shaping up as one of the most wide open in history.
We'd just be looking to plot a path where we could find the most firm footing in the event, but I would suggest she'll definitely take her opportunity.
Up against a string of quality internationals, along with the best stayers in the country, the Sprayton-based mare will have the added bonus of starting from the same barrier that saw Winx clinch an historic victory in 2018.
This gives her the opportunity to sort of roll forward, maintain and hold a position without doing too much work there down to the winning post. The Cox Plate's the holy grail for my mind.
To Hockey One, and the Tassie Tigers are urging fans to pack out the Tasmanian Hockey Centre tomorrow as the men vie to cement a final spot in their final home game of the season up against Melbourne.
I've been pretty pleased with how we've been going.
we're confident we've got a good enough team to win all the games. So I think the focus on us is doing what we've been doing really well and trying to negate some of the Melbourne strengths.
The club is hosting a fan day at the Hockey Centre tomorrow from 11 a.m, with a men's match beginning at 2 p.m. on Sunday, followed by the women's clash at 3:30.
Good evening. A very gusty day today as the front impacted the state. Hobart 28 degrees, Launceston 20, Burnie 19 and Devonport 17. 29 the maximum recorded at Friendly Beaches, and the strongest wind gust today, 124 kilometres per hour at Scott's Peak. Grove 27 degrees, Ouse 25 and St Helens 24. Flinders Island 21 degrees plus 4 millimetres of rain. King Island, Smithton and Lyawini 17 and Strawn and Low Head 16 degrees. A high-level cloud band move off our east coast today as low-level convective cloud pushed over the state. Cloud with the cold front extends further north as well. Through Victoria and New South Wales. A cold air mass is following the front through. Areas of cloud over the mainland, the result of troughs, and a subtropical jet stream has the cloud over the Coral Sea in coastal Queensland. Tomorrow a surface trough crosses Tasmania, locked in a southwesterly flow. A ridge of high pressure slides over the bight with more troughs over the mainland. The northwesterly winds will shift southwesterly late tomorrow morning at 15 to 25 knots, but reaching 30 to 35 knots over the north. Swells to 4.5 metres in western waters. Gale warning for waters between the northern tip of Flinders Island and St Helens Point, a strong wind warning for remaining coastal waters, and a warning to sheep graziers for most grazing districts. We kick off the weekend for Hobart with a shower or two increasing later in the day, 16 the top, 13 for Maydena. Oatland showers increasing, 14 the high. Launceston a top of 16 with showers. Showers for Devonport, same number, 16 degrees, 11 degrees for Lyawini. Burnie can expect tomorrow a top of 16 with showers. Showers for Strawn 14 and 13 for Marrawar. St Helens tomorrow showers and 16 degrees, 17 for Swansea. Orford showers increasing as well and 16 the top. On Sunday, showers over the west, south and lower east. Snow above 800 metres. Fine and partly cloudy on Monday. Just the possibility of a light shower over the west and far south. And on Tuesday, partly cloudy with showers developing over the west and south during the day. Sunny and warm in Perth tomorrow. An early shower for Adelaide. A windy day in Melbourne. A cool one with showers. Sunny but windy in Sydney. A sunny day in Brisbane as well. A top of 30. Clear in Hobart, 18 at the moment, 14 in Launceston, 14 and partly cloudy in Devonport. And Joe, yes, I've got a feeling about Mystic Journey tomorrow as well. Barrier 6, hope it gets out early and runs them down in the last couple of 100 metres. And I'm suggesting you put all your grocery money, your house mortgage money and the children's education money on this horse tomorrow, but gamble responsibly.
Thanks for the advice. Thanks, Merv.